thank you so much for taking a few minutes to speak with me here at Warped Tour. How are you enjoying it so far? You guys are veterans of this, right?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, we're about a little over halfway through the thing. We got like 2.5, 3 weeks left, and we're still in pretty good spirits. You know, this tour is definitely a little soul-wrenching at times, but we're getting through it. So.
What's the biggest change you've noticed with it over the years?
Not too much has changed, honestly, since we played it the first time. I mean, it's mostly just a lot of, screamo bands and a couple good ones. And, yeah, it's pretty chill.
So, I want to talk about this epic new album, Black Cat. For you guys, I've had a chance to check it out. It is just incredible. Can you talk a little bit about what went into the recording process? Maybe 1 or 2 tracks in particular, and tell me what the mindset was like.
Yeah, well, the first song is called Hey We Okay. That's the first one we launched, and that was a song that me and Ian wrote like the first time that we ever sat down and wrote together, which is pretty fun. And so we did that, and then it's a track that me and Ian wrote the first time we ever jammed out, or at least wrote together. And then the recording process was our producer Dennis Herring. He was very involved, and he really liked that song. So we just took a lot of time on it and really tried to make it the best it could be. And then recording it, we just kind of jammed out. We tried to get a really good rhythm, something that people could move to and feel the rhythm of. Because usually we're pretty we keep it pretty classic with rhythm, but on this one we made it pretty contemporary for usually what we're up to. So
we spice it up live too.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, the whole album was just fun. I mean, I was already singing along, and it was great. It was like 1 or 2 listens, and like everything was so catchy, and it was just fantastic.
Thanks, yeah, I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, is there anything challenging in the recording process for you? Because I know you guys did add some other elements in there.
Yeah,
it also took us a lot
I had a lot of very meticulous guitar takes. Or just like just getting that rhythm perfect, and then doubling that perfect. Just getting the attitude, of the take, not so much, and the performance.
Sometimes, it's more about getting the right attitude behind a take, and less about precision almost sometimes. And then, and really, I mean, it was a longer process than what we're used to. It took us we were in the studio recording for like 6 months, which was a lot longer than we had ever done before. And I think it paid off. We really got to take the time that we needed on every single song. We made every song full. It was a full record. We definitely wanted to fill in all the gaps and color in all the lines.
So, I mean, how hard is it for you guys to craft a set list now? I mean, there's got to be a lot to choose from.
It kind of makes it easier, though, sometimes. Like,
does it?
Just having a, big enough catalog to where you can be like, okay, this would be good here, that would be good there. And then there's also the times where you don't really know exactly what you want in a certain place, but it goes back and forth, I guess.
It's hard to pick from plethora.
It's fun, though.
Have you ever found yourself surprised by, songs that fans will gravitate towards, where you had a feeling about one and they've totally gravitated the opposite way?
Yeah, definitely. Usually though, I have a pretty good sense of what people are gonna like. I've kind of always had that going for me. So usually I can kind of take a good bet on what people are gonna like. So, me personally, but I mean, it's hard to say. There's not really any songs in particular that, I don't know, it's hard to say.
So, I mean, we've seen so many changes in the music industry over the years. I mean, the biggest one being the uprise of social media with the way bands can connect with fans and promote, of the changes, which has had the biggest effect on the band and the way you approach recording and promotion and fan interaction.
I would just say there's just kind of been an oversaturation. There's just so much music out there now, and there's so many bands that can get people's interest just by having some kind of attractive visual aspect, and I feel like that is really kind of diluting the music scene a lot. And there's a lot of really great bands out there that maybe don't have that same aesthetic that draws people in, and for me, I see that's it's become a visual world, and it's become. And that's something that we keep in mind, like especially lately with our album art, like we wanted to make something that really enticed people and brought people's attention in just with the album art alone, you know. And I feel like, so we try to tap into that, you know, understanding that it's become a visual aspect, but also it's kind of a sad thing that people care more about imagery than artistry. So
Absolutely. So is there, you know, one thing in particular about the band that's misunderstood? Is there something people tend to continually get wrong?
I think that probably the biggest misconception would be that we started so young, and, you know, this band started when we were 16, and most of our most popular songs was whenever we were young teenagers. So people kind of have this idea of us as a very, you know, teenager kind of young pop band thing, and really we've kind of taken all sorts of routes. You know, we've gone psychedelic, we've gone 60s rock, and it's just like, you know, there's more to it than what most people think. And the people that have kind of like followed our whole journey, you know, I feel like I can connect with a lot better than people that are like, oh, just play the old ukulele songs, you know. So.
I was going to say, what I've loved about the band is the experimentation, and that you're absolutely, you know, unafraid to take a risk at all, and that's wonderful because it keeps music fresh. But, you know, what are some of your, you know, how important is that going forward, you know, to always continue to push the envelope a little bit further?
Sorry I'm talking so much, but I gotta get that to it. The way I've seen it is like our journey has been like a big circle, you know, and we've gone all the way to the fully experimental into kind of coming back to where we started, and now I feel like we're back to where we started really, and then we're gonna make the circle all over again. So we're gonna, you know, probably make another psychedelic record in the future, and then probably make a straight 60s rock album, and then, you know, who knows where we'll go from there. Maybe
we might make a rap album.
I was gonna say, is there anything that you'd like to try that you haven't yet?
I would say a rock opera before a rap album. But
Oh yeah, I can
that
see
was,
that.
Like, the biggest thing that like enticed me when, you know, about a year and a ago when Chris asked me to join the band, and like just the diversity of music and how it's constantly changing. You know, things don't get old, you know, which is really fun. It keeps like the creativity different and unexpected.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of fun.
I feel like genres don't really matter anymore, and I hate when an artist has to feel boxed into one thing. Because as a writer, they're always like, put the artist in this particular genre or another, you know. It's like, no, you know, music is music, you know. For each one of you personally, when did it begin speaking to you?
I think I first started playing guitar when I was 14 or so, and then it wasn't until I really started hanging out with a lot of the like the punk rock kids and stuff at the high school I went to that I really started to get into music and finding things that really inspired me and spoke to me in that way. And I was kind of a late bloomer musically compared to a lot of the other people that I still know that play music and stuff. But yeah, somewhere around when I first was going into high school and getting into stuff, I think is when it first started to entice me.
Thanks.
You know, I was actually about 14 as well whenever I started really taking guitar seriously. But before that, my dad played guitar, and I grew up around him playing, you know, and my family was very religious growing up, and it was cool to kind of have that sort of background, that sort of start in music. You know, my dad would take like old, you know, Beatles songs and Dylan songs, and he would make them into like kind of worshipy sort of songs that he'd play at church and things like that. So I thought that was kind of an interesting, you know, first look on music.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I just remember feeling something more whenever I would sing, even in church and stuff, like that whenever I would sing, I felt the connection with something greater, you know.
Yeah, I grew up in a very like musical household, not so much like my parents were musicians, but just music was always on, and it was very diverse, like from 50s all the way to present, you know, in the 90s. So then, you know, my dad had a guitar and started playing drums when I was 10, and then pretty quickly switched over to the guitar when I was about 11. So always had the mood.
Yeah, I was around like 13 or 14. It's weird because I can remember before I played guitar at that age, I didn't even care about music. I didn't even care about it. I had no idea what it was. And then I started playing guitar, and then all of a sudden I started to realize that, you know, music started to speak to me and inspire me in ways that I never thought it could. It's interesting.
great. I'd love to hear if everybody's always started like right around that, anywhere between 11 to 14. It's just crazy. So I mean, obviously the album is big news that's next on the horizon for you guys. But you know, touring wise, after Warp, there's about 3 weeks left. What's next on the horizon there?
Well, we're definitely going to be doing some international stuff coming up. We booked a show in Manila. We're trying to book a few more around there. Go to Japan, maybe.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, and then other than that, we're planning out. We're gonna early next year. We're gonna be doing some big touring plans around Black Cat. Once it's kind of circulated among the fans, everybody learns the songs and stuff. We're gonna do we're gonna do a big tour with lots of music, long set, fun production, and maybe some lasers and other cool stuff. So
Lasers will be coming out of our heads. We're
Yeah.
gonna be jamming. Every song is just gonna be a jazz on us, a jam.
That's awesome. I know. I feel like bands sometimes with like the whole Warped Tour set and the stage, they're so limited by just the stage production of everything. Like, I mean, I can't wait to see what everybody can do like off of that.
yeah,
But I want to.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
different, but it's it's its own thing.
Well, I want to thank you guys so much for taking a few minutes out to speak with me.
Yeah.
I absolutely can't wait for
You
this
gotta
album to come out.
You gotta say hi to
Yeah.
Toph real quick.
Toph, come
Toph's
say
our
hi.
keyboard
Hi.
player. Toph's our player. Come here, Toph. Come on.
Say hi, Toph.
Join the interview.
Please,
Play
please,
the-
please, sit down and eat.
With your food.
Sit on me.
You cut off.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Don't food it.
I love it.
Cool.
Awesome. Well,
Thanks
thank
for
you
having
guys
me.
so
Yeah, thank you
much.
so
I
much.
appreciate it.
1, 2, a 1, 2, woo! A poor man will kill for the fame, but a rich man would die for it. If that's the case, well, I'm running this race. That's the last place I waste time. Cause see, time is money and money breaks half. Like you can buy yourself a new girlfriend. She'll be a cold-eyed woman with a greedy eye, waiting for your old ass to die. I'm so happy here with you, 'cause you're my type of girl. You never